Hello everyone and welcome to Disc Review, the show where we go track by track through a different album every week. You know what? We got a pretty nostalgic record for us here. I mean, a few years ago, we used to listen to this record quite a bit, won't you say?
Yeah, I don't remember how we discovered this band. Probably their lead single was pretty popular in the scene that we used to listen to at the time. I remember that being a big deal at that time, probably around 2017. But definitely an interesting record to look back on, especially since they've gone through so many changes. That band is Makeout. The record is The Good Life. And yeah, we followed Makeout for a while. They have a new singer now, and they're making new music, and I'm sure we'll be talking about that too. If they drop an album, that'd be cool.
Yep, but for today, we're talking about the album with their old singer. And so, like you said, the band has gone through a lot of changes since then, and I'm pretty sure I read that they kind of like to consider themselves a whole new band at this point. But I mean, there might be reasons for that. We might talk about some of those here. Simon, my brother, said that he had this album in his car. He was had the CD in, and someone crashed into him, and that CD got stuck permanently in the car.
But how much of a loss was that?
As we'll find out, it's a decent loss for some songs on this record, and not too much of a loss for others.
But before we start and dive into their album, we're going to talk about our release radar. What came out this week? What are you listening to?
Yeah, I mean, I know one that you're going to probably talk about, but I'll save that for you. One that came out for me was definitely the new Emarosa song Stay, which is their third single that they've released this cycle, and I'm pretty sure their last one until they release the album. At least they already, talked about the album that they're going to be releasing in a couple months here. The album's going to be called Sting, but yeah, that song Stay, it's definitely my favorite out of the three they've released. I've had a hard time with the past two singles they released. I didn't love them that much. I thought they were kind of boring, but Stay's pretty good, and so I'm hopeful for the rest of the album. Other than that, though, just some ancillary things that I'm not too interested in. I mean, Sleeping with Sirens came out with a new song, but, I don't really care too much about that. But what's been out for you?
Yeah, I didn't listen much to the new Emarosa song. I think I listened to it once or twice. Funny you say that's your favorite. This was probably my least favorite. Actually, I like the other two better. But still looking forward to a record. Glad to know we have a name, some album art. I think they put out a music video. I didn't see it. I don't know if you watched that. If it was any good.
I did. It was okay.
But funny you talk about Emarosa. What I've been listening to this week, as actually a lot of it came off. They put out a playlist. I like when artists will make playlists of music they like and that inspired them, so you can kind of get a feel for what kind of music are they listening to and what direction are they trying to go with the band. I'm trying to find the playlist and the name right now, but it had a lot of music I actually already listened to. I can't find it right now, but a lot of music I listened to. Bands like Laney, probably some 1975 to be honest. Of just that style that they're going for now. Definitely more 80s pop feel, right?
Mm-hmm.
I liked a couple songs off there that I hadn't heard before, but were bands I liked. There's a Small Pool song, Stumbling Home, which was kind of a cool discovery. I think it's a really good song. A smaller band called Lave, with only 50,000 monthly listeners, had a pretty good song on there as well. And the band Muna, who I've heard of a little bit, but I haven't heard a song from them until this. And then, of course, probably the big highlight was new 1975 song dropped today. A little bit on the slower side. Definitely one of those more feel songs for them. I thought this was going to be an acoustic because they played this song live at a show. I don't remember which show exactly, but it was a while ago when they played it. He played it on a acoustic guitar. It sounded a lot like some of their other acoustic stuff, so I thought they were going to go that direction. This is a definitely more stripped back, but some clean guitar and some piano.
Yeah, I listened to it, and I thought it was good. It was maybe one of my favorites out of the new ones they've put out, but they've all been pretty good. I don't think they've released one yet that I thought was bad.
Oh, they're doing a great job.
That's good. Hopeful for that. But at this point, why don't we just dive right into The Good Life?
Yeah, with track number one, Childish. Listen, I think the song is good at establishing the tone and the style of the record. They have a distinct sound, I would say. And but besides that, I just don't find the song that interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think something Makeout is trying to do with this album is bring us some high energy, chaotic pop punk tracks. This one definitely does that. And so, like you said, I think it sets the tone real well, lets you know pretty much what you're going to be getting. I do think there's some songs that deviate from that format, and we'll talk about those as we go on. But yeah, it like you said, it's not that stand out to me, but it does give you a good taste of what's to come. That brings us to track number two, Crazy. And I've got to be honest here. I mean, I know this is a little bit of an interesting song to talk about, but it's maybe my favorite on the album. I hope I don't get hate for that. Crazy is kind of just good. I mean, it sounds good. It's very tongue in cheek, and many of the lines can be considered comical. I love the section where he's talking to the girl on the phone, and he says he's in the studio in Calabasas, where the Kardashians live, and he can't go back to working at McDonald's. I mean, I think that's funny, and obviously, it is kind of an aggressive song at times, but I think for the most part, it's fun and catchy.
Yeah, I mean, this is by far the most popular song, and I'm sure what got most people into this band. You're right, the chorus is really catchy. This was a fun one to jam out to. Yeah, I mean, it's a little aggressive, but you're right. When the lyrics are good, like you're talking about with that bridge section, it's funny. He's kind of joking about himself. It's just a lot lighter. I feel like the mood is better in that section. There's a couple lyrics that I don't think are particularly good here, and a little bit before that, but it's all right.
The third song is Lisa. I find this song pretty silly, but I think that's kind of what they were going for. This song makes me think of the Hot Crazy Scale. Now, listen, I'm not saying I believe the Hot Crazy Scale to be a very reputable or reliable system of measurement, but if I did, I would probably place Lisa in the corner of the tippy top of completely hot and completely crazy.
I've always thought this song could be good, but I just don't. I've just always been bored by this one. It's just kind of the same song as before, but like not not with any funny lines or nuance. Just kind of him. Just feels like he's complaining. And so just having this song right after the last one just has always made it.
Yeah. Well, Crazy and Lisa are very similar, and so I'm kind of surprised they put them together, because it kind of at this point, like after you listen to Lisa, you kind of think this is all the album's gonna be, is songs like that. But then it moves on to Ride It Out, which is totally different. One of their more popular songs as well. Like I said, after the craziness of those last tracks, I think I was definitely ready for something a little more serious in tone. And I think for that reason, Ride It Out is perfectly placed. Yeah, it's a really good love song, and I think it has some pretty good melodies.
Yeah, Ride It Out is actually a really good song. I've liked this one for a long time. This song was, if I remember correctly, at least co-written with 5 Seconds of Summer. And I think you can tell.
Oh my goodness.
With just the melodies and the style, I think it's very reminiscent of them. And I think the song benefits from that.
I literally wrote down here, it reminds me of 5 Seconds of Summer.
Right? It sounds just so like funny. Them. I think 100% that was a cool opportunity for them to take to get. I mean, 5 Seconds of Summer are great songwriters, and it shows here. I think there's some high quality just writing on this track for sure, and just has a really distinct atmosphere and mood. I think it separates it and puts it above on this record. One of the best tracks for sure.
How did they get 5 Seconds of Summer to write songs with them? I mean, not that, well, relatively speaking, Makeout is kind of a smaller band, and 5 Seconds of Summer is huge, so I just wonder how they pulled that off.
I need to look into that. I wonder if it's a song they didn't want and gave it up.
That could have been.
I don't remember where I even saw that. But although I went to the music video of this song, and They were all talking about 5 Seconds of Summer, so it's pretty common knowledge, I think, with Makeout fans.
Okay. After that, we got Open Minded. Unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to put this song into the category of songs that are just too generically positive to mean much. I don't hate the song, but lines like "Let's be open minded," "Let's be undivided," "What we choose is up to us." I think I just like I want positive songs to have a little bit more substance than that. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want to write a positive song, then write what you truly feel in your heart instead of just copy and pasting popular positive phrases, you know?
Listen, yeah, you don't need to convince me. I might hate that those kind of songs even more than you. I feel like I despise that kind of song. So, and this might be
Mm-hmm.
one of the worst offenders.
It's, yeah.
This is a very ironic song on this album. I think it would have been very funny if they put it next to Secrets. It's just like it feels annoying to be lectured at on this album in particular. I don't like this song.
I mean, I don't think anything could be a worse offender than Change by Charlie Puth, but this one is definitely up there.
Next song is You Can't Blame Me. Pretty standard Makeout song. I think there's a couple chorus melodies that are catchy, but everything else just doesn't stand out to me.
This song kind of reminds me of early As It Is sound. It brought me back to a simpler time, um, a time when I actually liked what As It Is was putting out. Although I don't think the chorus is the best on the album, to be honest. I think it's kind of weak here.
The next track is Clockwork, one of the better songs, I would say. It's got a catchy chorus, which is, I mean, really all you need since we already like this kind of style and the pop punk sound they have going on. So putting a catchy chorus here makes this a fun song. The only thing is, I have no idea what this song is about. Have you ever jumped headfirst into fear like Clockwork? Because I sure haven't.
I mean, I'm trying to as you said that, I'm trying to like process what that means, and I kind of got nothing. But to be honest, Clockwork comes out of nowhere with one of the best choruses I've
Yeah.
heard from this band. It's so catchy, it's so fun. This one also reminds me a lot of 5 Seconds of Summer, and
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing. This is a late night scream at the top of your lungs song to me.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't even realize how much this song sounds like 5 Seconds Summer as well. They probably were emulating that style. Probably just kind of how they even got on their radar. The next song is Till We're Gone. Probably I always lump this song in with You Can't Blame Me. In fact, I confuse their names constantly. My note though is that their chorus vocal effect makes him sound like Fall Out Boy. 100%. Listen to it.
Yeah.
There's no way that's an accident.
No, I think they took a lot of inspiration from artists they really liked, and there's no shame in that. I do that all the time. Everyone does that, and I think that what we're gonna see from Makeout in the future is I think they're gonna start paving their way, and doing kind of stuff that's really core to who they are. But this album is reminiscent of a lot of other music. This song isn't as crazy and energetic as most of the record, but I think it was a good choice to at least break it up in tone and give the listener a little bit of a palate cleanser before entering the end portion of the record. Without songs like this, I think records risk being forgettable. However, to be honest, I think this is one of the more forgettable songs on the record. The one line I really do like, though, is "This year will fade into our memory." I think that that's a clever line, and I think it speaks true to experiences I've had. The next song is Salt Lake City. Finally, some Utah representation in
Yeah.
music. Corn-fed country boys like me have been waiting for this for a long time. I like this one a lot for sure. I think that the best part of the song is when he sings the line, "Why do you have to be in Salt Lake City?" It's really catchy, and I enjoy it probably a little more than the average person, just because I'm from Utah, have experiences with Salt Lake City.
First time I listened to the song, I was in Utah, so I feel a little bit of connection with that too. Just being like, wow, this is a weird reference to some weird city
Yeah,
in the state I'm in right
it's
now.
not a city that you hear too much about in pop culture.
But I think that's the point. I think they tried to pick a somewhat obscure place. It fits the theme of the song. Listen, this is
Hmm.
by far the best song in my opinion on the record. I think this song is
Okay.
awesome. Looking at the stream counts, it's actually the weakest performing song.
Well, not the weakest.
I mean, I don't count interludes, but if they had kept going in this direction with their music, I would be very happy because this was just such a good song in my opinion. Some really interesting guitar. I think they went above and beyond with the guitar in this one. It seems like a noticeable increase in the effort put into that. So, right, like you said, the really catchy melodies. That chorus is so good, and just some great lyrics. It's a really wholesome song. I love. He somehow makes this kind of love song of like why can't we be in the same place, but just makes it interesting, puts his own spin on it. I just think it works really well.
Yeah, and it's very strange to have this one come just before Secrets. And you know what? I'll kind of let you take the reins and tell me how you feel about Secrets before I do.
Yeah, so context for anybody, they do not play this song anymore. They have openly condemned it as a band. So don't get attached to this song and don't listen to it because it sucks. This song has catchy melodies, but it can't cover the fact that it's just filled to the brim with dumb lyrics that are not productive and just kind of like it's about him getting cheated on and him being mad about that, but he just takes it to a place that just makes you don't feel any sympathy for him at all. And I think the funniest part of this song, when I went back and listened to it for this review, was that in the bridge he does a whole thing about how he's probably going to regret everything he said in this song, and he probably does. But at the end of the bridge, he just says, "Whatever, I'm going to say it anyways." And that is
Yeah.
that sums up the entire song very very well. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, you know what? I don't want to sound like a broken record because I feel like lately every album I have something to say about the lyrics that I find somewhat misogynistic. And I know you agree with me on this one for sure. But I just think this song is pretty ridiculous. And the sad part about this is that I used to really like this song. I would listen to it and had no problem with the way it talks about women. But I feel like I've grown a lot since then, and it's pretty clear that this song is very problematic. I mean, even the band, like you said, is they don't play this anymore because of the lyrical content. And you know what? That bridge could have been really good. I I like when that bridge comes in and he starts saying like, "I'll probably regret saying all this. I feel dumb for saying this. In the end, this isn't gonna play out well for me." I think if he had kept to that, it's almost a good message of like saying all these horrible things and then being like, man, this why am I talking like this? I think this is actually not how I truly feel. But then yeah, he ruins it at the end by saying, "Oh, forget it. I'm gonna say more and double down, and I'm going to tell everyone that you're a horrible person, and I'm gonna make you hate your life because I'm petty."
Yeah, you're right. It's weird. You think for a second he realizes the irony, and then he doubles down, and but that's what makes this song truly suck is that decision right there, and it just doesn't have any layers of irony at that point when he addresses it and then just says nah, nah, we're
Yeah.
committing, and it's just. But listen, this song has 4 million streams, so you're not alone. This was a very popular song, I feel like, for Makeout fans, and has been for a long time. It might not be anymore, but it was. This was, I'm pretty sure, maybe a single. I think it came out early, off the
Yeah.
record. So
I
they
I think I think pain, especially like heartbreak,
it
makes
sells.
people mean. I think that when you're going through something that really sucks and really kind of has destroyed you for a period of time, it feels very cathartic to listen to songs like this, and I get that. But with hindsight, it's easy to see how bad that can be because that can lead young fans into saying things like this to actual people, and that's not a good thing at all. So yeah, it's a shame that this is here.
But the next track is "Where's My Charger," a kind of interlude song. Another interlude with 3,000 streams. That seems to be the upper limit an interlude song can even have.
I can't believe we're reviewing two albums in a row that both have an interlude with sub 5,000 streams. It's crazy.
I think this is more baffling because the one on the Water Parks album is truly boring. There's no music. It's just them chatting on a voice
Yeah.
memo, and it's a little goofy. But this is has music. It has guitar. It has a concept. It's a joke about making this whole intense guitar song for a dude who can't find his charger. That's funny. That's interesting. Why does it have 3,000 streams? That's people can't handle a song that's 20 seconds long, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I just wrote, now this is an interlude I can get behind.
Right?
Um,
They put an effort
oh,
on this
oh,
interlude.
yes, there's a whole song compacted into this 15 to
Mm-hmm.
20 seconds here, miles ahead of the interlude we talked about last week. You can actually see effort, and yeah, I was blown away when I saw the stream count. Why skip this? Why?
Yeah, it's
You're
so
gonna
short and it's interesting. At least, come on.
you're gonna get to blast off.
I'm telling
in
you, they're not skipping
10
it.
seconds.
They
Just
like
chill
every
out.
song except that one, so it doesn't even come on. That's what I think.
Yeah.
It all those other songs are on their liked whatever songs they like are on their like songs playlist, and then they listen through that or whatever. That's my guess because how are you skipping this song in the 25 seconds?
Yeah, I mean, I guess another reason could be people are putting the other songs in like playlists. I know
Yeah.
playlists is huge for Spotify, but it's just baffling. I mean, are we the only people in the world, us and 3,000 other people, who listen to albums all the way through?
Yeah, I've been confused by that because I expected a little bit higher than 3,000 compared to the 4 million on a garbage song before it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, the last song is Blast Off. It's a good closer for this record. It doesn't really bother me anyway. It's got a decent chorus. The lyrics are a little generic. That's probably my only criticism.
I kind of think this is a perfect ending to the album. Blast Off takes all the best parts of Makeout's style and makes it feel emotional and powerful with a big chorus. I think Blast Off is one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's one of the better songs.
So, what did you think of The Good Life, like 3 years after when you used to listen to it?
This is a record that doesn't hold up as well as I would have thought. I definitely have a lot of memories attached to this record. I think I liked it a lot in 2017 when it came out. But there's still the songs that are good are really good. And listen, the stuff they're putting out now, I feel like is as good. So I'm hopeful for the band. I think they know what songs worked and what didn't. I think they're going in a good direction. They're able to put out some really good stuff on this record. It's just held back, I think, significantly by some bad songs that just brings down the average considerably. And
Yeah.
it just isn't a standout record to me in my eyes anymore because of that, even if there are some standout songs.
Yep. I mean, I think I do agree. I think it is standout, but maybe for some of the wrong reasons. I mean, it's hard for me to forget about this album
Yeah.
knowing what I know now about it. And I, like you said, I also have some good memories attached to some of these songs. That's why I still like the song "Crazy." I think, even though it's kind of a wacky, aggressive song, it's fun, and I've had a lot of fun with it. And plenty of the other ones that we talked about. So, I don't know how much I'll listen to it in the future. I'm really hoping that Makeout just comes out with a new, better album, and I can listen to that because I don't think I think the band is good and they have good potential. But yeah, this album, like you said, didn't hold up all too well.
Well, listen, we're going to be having more reviews each week. Disc Review Podcast. We're going to try and lengthen out the podcast, add more content there, and bring some YouTube specific content to you on YouTube. Thank you for all the support.
Yeah, and I'd like to give a big shout out to Goob, who has commented multiple times that we should review Hail the Sun. And my answer to you is maybe. We'll see. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for petitioning for music you like. We'll see if we get around to it sooner rather than later.
I've never heard Hail the Sun. Maybe this will be our opportunity to have never listened to a band and just try it out. But I have no nostalgia for them. I'm warning you.
Yeah. Yeah, our if you think we're mean talking about bands that we have nostalgia for, just wait till we tell you that your favorite album is boring because we've only heard it one time.
That's what we're worried about.
Yeah. Well, Matt, before we end here, do you want to maybe talk about some of our liked songs, our recently liked songs here?
Yeah, I mean, I talked about a couple of them. Let's see. What do you
So
think?
what I want you to do is go to your liked songs playlist, sort by newest, and tell me what are the three top newest songs that you've liked.
Well, when I was listening to this record, a recommended song came on after Blast Off, and I liked it because it sounded alright, and I wanted to hear it again. What do you think of the band First and Forever? You heard of them?
I've never heard of them.
So I don't know if they're good. They just came on. I was vibing for a minute. I'm gonna listen to the rest of it and try it out.
Okay,
That
there you
song
go.
is In Loving Memory. So we'll see if it makes the cut next week, if it's still on my like song playlist. Listen, I feel like I've become a music normie because sometimes I just put on my like song playlist from the top and just let it play down. Because then I hear all the songs I like right now, and I'm just vibing out to what I think's fun right now. And then as new like songs enter the playlist, well then those songs that I'm kind of getting sick of, they've moved it so far down I'm not going to hear them again until I hit shuffle. So I don't know, it
Yeah.
just seems to work.
I need to kind of go through and purge my like songs playlist
Yeah,
because
me too.
there's so much shit on there that haven't listened to for 5 years, and every time it comes on, it's annoying to me because it's so bad. I mean, I must have just been listening to the stupidest trash imaginable 5 years ago because it's all that plays when I shuffle my liked songs playlist is stuff that I barely remember liking. So I need to do that. But um, my most recent like, well, actually, technically, my most recent like is All I Need to Hear, the new
Mm-hmm.
1975 song. But just below that, I recently liked At Doom's Gate off the Doom soundtrack. That
Mm-hmm.
dude, that soundtrack goes hard. It
Yeah.
pumps you up in the morning.
It's your gym playlist. Like
Yeah,
people
for
would use
sure.
the Doom soundtrack as their gym playlist. Yeah, I have the 1975 song on next, and then I have a remix of a Bleachers song. We'll probably talk about Bleachers at some point. He's a really talented musician, producer. He's produced for huge artists like Taylor Swift and Lorde, and he's produced all of this new 1975 album. So you have him to thank for some great production on these new songs for you fans out
Oh,
there.
that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, but there was just a decent remix that he just put out. Those things get added all the time. I feel like most of them aren't good. Yeah, but I agree. I feel like my like playlist sometimes is kind of bloated. I think because we used to be elitist and we'd like the whole album even if we didn't actually like the whole album. So you know what? I'm sorry. Maybe if you truly hate that interlude, you'd take it off your like song playlist too, because it probably
Yeah.
doesn't belong in there. I'm starting to think the like song actually needs to be only songs I like. I think I'm just mad. Like I wish there was a way to add music, but not have it be all on that. You know,
Liked.
yeah, it's like add the album and then like
Well,
a couple songs
I
off
think you
that.
can do that because I
Can
think
you?
if you press like on the album, it saves it, but it doesn't send it to your liked playlist unless you like the
Did they
individual
fix that?
songs.
Because it used to, if you hit like on the album, it'd like all the songs immediately. It did
Yeah,
that
I'm
at
pretty
some
sure
point.
they did fix that.
So if they fixed that, thank you, Spotify. That was the biggest problem that this platform had. I'm gonna test that out. That's cool.
And now the biggest problem that the platform has is that good artists can't get their music recommended because Spotify algorithms are absolutely brutal.
Well, I think they're brutal because not a lot of people actually listen to recommended music. But in my opinion, it works. I've told you I've heard some really good stuff off of recommended from Spotify. They are good at getting music that's adjacent to the music you like. A lot of small indie bands I found that way. But if you're any smaller than 50,000 monthly listeners, you're definitely not getting recommended. That is the
Yeah,
truth.
that's for sure. Alrighty, man. I think we had a good conversation here, and thank you for listening, everybody. Listen, I know that our listener pool may be small right now, but from the small interactions I've had with some of you, I'm very grateful that you're around. So please stick around, show us some love on this video, like it, subscribe to our channel. We also have Spotify if you're listening there. Thank you so much. Follow us there as well. And we appreciate you guys a lot. Thank you.